It's not our fault. It's not, don't feel bad that you were taught from, grandma who taught, great grandma who taught grandma who taught mama who taught you. It's not your fault that that's what you were taught, but think for yourself. Because what I don't see, with self-awareness comes thinking for yourself, having your own thoughts, your own words, your own mind. And we are lacking persons, with their own minds, and we have social media, we have all these influencers, and part of self-awareness, okay, becomes, why am I prejudiced? People know what you're thinking. So if you haven't dealt with your own stuff, you see everything through that filter. And when you talk to somebody, they're very aware of that. So deal with your stuff, so to speak. Be aware of what it is that triggers you. Why does it trigger me? Probably you were taught, at an early age, and that's the only thing that So, but what I really want to see more of, and what I see you doing with your music is taking that message and spreading it to the youth. A lot of it's to the youth, even though you'll speak to anyone. How can we create leaders in our youth in order to evoke change that is long overdue?
Be aware of your platform. And this is whether you're a giant artist, you're not an artist, but you're well respected. Someone's always watching. We'll take a little child, right? And you tell a child, don't hit, don't hit, don't hit. A kid is not going to listen to what you say as much as learn through your actions. You saying don't hit, don't hit, don't hit, don't hit, but he or she observes you punching and hitting and hitting and punching and hitting and hitting. They are going to hit. There's more people that are paying attention to your actions than you would ever believe in. One follower is enough. Someone that's watching you and being aware of what you put out. I said, okay, I have a responsibility here. I love everyone. My mother taught me how to love everyone as well. And I have to start being more responsible and more self-aware of the material that I put out. And I can't go over here and say, you should change your platform and you should act like this and you should do this. When you do enough yous, and by the time you flip it around, you'll be standing in the mirror after you went through all of the yous, and you'll be looking right at yourself pointing in the mirror.
Oh my
because
God.
you literally have to start with yourself. My responsibility is to be a leader, and the way that I lead is to be able to put out music that has a positive message and be positive. It's cool to make the party songs and different stuff like that, but you need to use the platform, especially in this timing, of being a self-aware person and saying, hey, I'm self-aware, and teaching and preaching self-aware. You have to practice what you preach. I preach self-awareness. I'm in the midst of recording a lot of positive music so that I could put it out so people could understand the emotions of how it comes firsthand from a Black guy and a Black man, and how it feels. And I have white friends, and I have that gift to be able to understand what they say and have a conversation and put that into song format and put it out there so that we can start to understand each other a lot better, so that we can bring it into each other.
A lot of us want to look outwardly through our lens, but we don't want to look in the mirror and face ourselves. Do you like what you see?
Right.
Really look at yourself. Do you like what you see? If somebody else was looking at you, would you expect them to like that? That's huge. So many people don't want to go against the masses, and they believe social media, and not just speaking up. I'm going to tell you, Bryson, it's education. Educate yourself. Is what you're hearing or what you've been taught, is that the truth?
Right.
You know what? We have a lot, look it up. I taught my kids this from a very early age. My kids have a mind of their own, because they would come home and say, oh, some scenario of something. Well, how do you know that? Well, so-and-so told me. Well, how do you know that they're right? I taught them how to look it up. So it's not just, it's being self-aware, and it's educating yourself so you're able to make decisions for yourself. And we need leaders.
I love the message. If I change me, then I've contributed to changing we.
Yeah, because you're going to change it. You have kids. Yeah. You have kids. You have a wife. You have, right there in your little household. Think how that gets passed down to generations. And if everybody took responsibility, and I encourage everybody out there, take responsibility for your own self.
My 8-year-old daughter, I even encourage her, it's okay to think for yourself. It's okay not to like what your dad feels about a certain subject. And she does that now. And I encourage people, when you teach your children this, understand that they're going to push the envelope. And if they question you on some stuff, this is how you know that you are really teaching the proper way of your children thinking. I see it so much where people saying, oh, they just shut their children down immediately after they're preaching, oh, think on your own. But when they start thinking for themselves, then they just, oh, no, you need to be quiet, shut up, or whatever the case may be. It's like, no, we need to hear them out, because this is where the root of a lot of these issues start, is shut up, be quiet, you don't have a voice.
I literally got my mouth taped shut.
Wow.
Literally taped shut, so I couldn't speak, but I was a kid, I'm not going to talk, and I would kind of try to talk through the tape, and I thought that was awesome. But really, there's so much validity to what you're saying.
I back off, and I practice shutting up a lot. That's why I'm more quiet these days. My grandmother said, if you're too busy talking, then you didn't hear it. You didn't hear a thing, and you didn't learn anything because you thought you knew everything.